Let's do a reaction video. You're probably thinking, what? Doesn't the coach teach us to act instead of react? Yes, but today we're going to react to some self-defense tips, women's self-defense tips from the hashtag beauty tips on Facebook. Somebody sent this to me. You know it's going to be a good self-defense video when it's under the hashtag beauty tips. So being beautiful is very important when it comes to self-defense. Jordan, you ready to watch this, give some commentary?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. The first technique, this woman is being accosted from behind, plastic bag placed over the head. Do not flail around and die. Instead, tear a hole in the mouth, breathe, and your assailant will stop the attack and then remove the bag. Probably not.
This reminds me of that game, Manhunt.
Manhunt, I haven't played that one.
Grand Theft from Rockstar.
So like one of those stealth killing games?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you kill people with a bag over the head?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wrist grab, standard turn against the thumb style escape. Got to point out this works infinitely better when they're holding the forearm rather than the wrist joint. Hair grabs, those are going to be tough to test out. Pro tip, just shave your head. It solves all your hair grab problems. That's not a joke, I'm dead serious. Okay, little elbow to the face. Momentum-based throw to escape from the rear naked choke.
You see this a lot in movies. I know Tom Cruise did this in the last Mission Impossible movie.
And all the time in movies. Okay, don't be a victim. Well, that's great advice. Just don't be a victim. Just leg grab the guy and throw him instead. Don't be a victim, victim. Stop being a victim. All right, she's at the cafeteria. Yeah.
She just wasted all that food.
This happened to me all the time back in school, though, when I was a kid. Got attacked in the cafeteria. Bully is always messing with you. All right, don't stomp on the foot. Got a few things to say about that. She's framing. Okay, that's fine. Great. And poking out the eye. Simulated eye with a piece of cheese.
Captain Krav Maga would be so proud.
Captain Krav Maga would be proud. All right, she's doing the Kimura grip escape. So much easier to do this up against the wall rather than the open mat. All right, defense against a butt grab. Creepy guy leering behind. He's grabbing the butt. Karate block. Discombobulate Sherlock Holmes style with two hands against the ears. Take one step forward. That's very important to take that step forward so you can get that 180-degree pivot. Got to be very technical here. Oh, a knife defense. This is right up your alley, Jordan. Don't get stabbed. Don't be a victim, guys. Instead, swat, dodge, parry.
Dodge. The 5 Ds.
And stop. That's it.
How come she's not running away?
I don't know.
She's standing there.
Because she parried twice, so she's okay. All right, escape from a rear naked choke. Instead of just being a helpless victim, peel the hand off. Okay, that's great if you can get it. And, okay. Superfluous elbow strike just in case. Throw him over your shoulder. Well, I've got some things to say about that. All right, she's pushed up against the wall. Don't turn your head away. That's good advice. You'll get clipped on the side of the chin. Keep your forehead forward. All right. She does an arm drag and grabs the hair. Again, another technique that will be difficult to test out here. Again, shave your head. Solves all your hair grab problems. And give your zombie friend a fist bump.
It's almost like a Jack Reacher thing.
Yeah.
Well, all that coffee, just wasted.
Yeah, man. This lady gets attacked a lot in the cafeteria, apparently. So don't shin kick, don't headbutt, and...
If you had hot coffee like that, could we just throw it in a guy's eye?
Maybe, if you had the presence of mind and it didn't spill. All right, she's stepping behind. I don't know why so many people teach this. Step behind and put yourself in this compromised position like it's a position of power, which it's totally not. Ew. Grabbing the simulated testicles, Master Wong would be proud. Okay, don't just flail around. When the dude grabs your collars, don't poke him when you can't reach him. Instead, elbow downward. This has not been my experience personally, breaking grips. But the best option is have your little zombie friend hand you an extra weapon. Huh. Okay. The purse defense. I didn't bring a purse. Did you bring a purse today, Jordan? So we'll have to skip this one, unfortunately. We won't be able to test out the purse defense. But let's see what they do with it. All right.
Baseball
She
choke.
does a baseball choke. Yeah, you could do that. She can also choke him like a cross-collar choke with the shirt.
Yeah, the hoodie.
That's fine. More breaking grip stuff. Okay, yeah, that's fine. He's got the forearms a little bit above the wrists. That's easy enough to break. Don't bite like that, bite like this. What's the difference?
Bite like zombie style.
Zombie style, okay. Instead of just getting punched in the face like a useless noob up against the wall, block, get the inside grip, duck under, and slam the head like a WWE wrestler. Then pet a cute little puppy that a zombie is holding. Shell up, get the inside grip, okay, that's great. Duck under, great if you can do it. But then bashing the head against the wall, I got some issues with this one. Get more hair grab stuff if you're being dragged by the zombie. Instead of swinging your legs around uselessly, spin around and do a push-pull sweep. That's a legit move. She needs to work on her guard passing skills though. So the push-pull sweep, totally legit move. Stand up, hit, or run. Okay, fine. But if you're fighting a zombie, my advice would be destroy the brain, obviously. Because zombies don't mess around. They just keep coming.
And have good cardio.
Yeah, exactly. If you got a gun, not once but twice to make sure the zombie's dead. So I'm not sure if this is women's self-defense specifically or zombie self-defense. They seem to be about half and half. But let's test out these techniques. You ready, Jordan?
Yes.
Let's go. I'm minding my own business walking this way. Jordan sneaks up behind, grabs my arm, pushes my head down to the floor. I see his leg, I step behind, I grab around the thigh, I lift this up, and he falls down. Okay, cool. Let's try this out. Maybe Jordan doesn't want to fall down. Most people don't. Most people, without even thinking, try to balance and stay on 2 feet. So let's give Jordan the benefit of a doubt that he's not just going to topple over with mild resistance. So, all right, let's go. Minding my own business. Oh no, I'm being pushed down. Okay, now the first thing Jordan did, he just got heavy on the leg right there. And that's not some advanced technique you need to take a bunch of jiu-jitsu or wrestling classes for. That's just, someone's trying to lift my leg up, I'm gonna resist that and put it down. It's like someone pushes you, we intrinsically push back, someone pulls us, we naturally just pull back, someone grabs our arm, we try to pull it away, someone hits us, we hit them back. We meet force with force usually. Now, this isn't a terrible technique. I'm not hating on it too much because, you know, if he does push me down from behind and I do step here, you know, this is fine. If I can get this, boom, there are a ton of takedown options there. There's one right there. And if I step to the outside here, I can pick this up and, you know, do some Tekken moves or something. I mean, it's not a terrible setup. All I'm saying is, if I have no idea I'm about to be attacked, and suddenly somebody tries to smack my face into the floor, maybe face plant, like, holy crap, what's happening? I'm probably gonna freeze and think, I don't know, I'm not gonna go in wrestling mode right away. I'm gonna think, what the heck just happened? Who is this? And in that time frame, yeah, he can impose his will. It just takes a few beats of time for attacks to happen. Just one for a strike like that to the head. Or maybe he just wants to control. Maybe you're a young woman walking around. This dude has some less than noble intentions, and he doesn't necessarily want to beat you up. And he didn't do the attack I was prepared for. He grabbed me around the waist instead. Anyway, I'm just saying, real life is a little bit different, actually a whole lot different than a scenario like this. I mean, think about it. I've been training in grappling. Jordan's been training in grappling for many years. You know, we've been training in martial arts, self-defense systems, weapon systems, all kinds of things, right? But when I am just going about my day-to-day, walking outside, la-di-da-di-da, walking down the street, I'm not thinking, what if this guy jumps out and attacks me? I gotta go into ninja mode at any moment. I mean, there are probably some paranoid people out there who are like that, who are looking around like, I'm just waiting for the fight to happen. I'm ready. I'm not one of those guys, most people aren't. And I imagine some young woman walking down the road, lambasted from behind by the guy, like, oh no, is probably not gonna have the presence of mind to think immediately, step behind, grab this, boom, sweep the leg, boom. Okay. But it's not a bad technique. It's just, I think, a dishonest representation of reality. Now, this next segment is kind of interesting because they say don't push and don't foot stomp. And in this particular scenario, I agree with that, but they didn't explain why. And then I'll tell you why I agree with that. So Jordan, maybe he's a few steps up here and he doesn't know he's about to end up in this grappling situation. The guy's clinching, he's trying to push this young woman. And right here, a lot of people in self-defense videos teach just stomp on the foot. And if the guy's doing absolutely nothing, okay, you stomped on his foot, maybe that hurts him, maybe it doesn't, maybe it makes him mad, whatever. But if, let's say we're out here a few steps away from the wall and I'm violently pushing Jordan, lift up a foot. Yeah, he doesn't have the balance to do a foot stomp at all. Here, do that to me, and I'll try to stomp your foot as you're pushing. You just don't, you simply don't have the time or the balance or the center of gravity in front of you to do a foot stomp. Now, foot stomps can be a viable technique if you're already up against the wall. Maybe you're an under clinch right here. Now I can use the wall as a third leg. So when I do lift up this leg, boom, now I can get here. Jordan is actually in a much better position to foot stomp me than I am to foot stomp him. Because if I do come up on one leg and he starts pulling or pushing, this is going to unbalance me quite a bit, even if it's a fairly quick one. He's going to feel, since we're in a tight clinch, as soon as I lift a foot up off the ground, yeah, he can break my posture very easily. So from the outside, foot stomps, if you don't know, this is a perfectly legal technique in MMA. It's not a commonly used one because it's not a super high percentage one. It's annoying at best. I mean, if you're wearing hard-soled shoes against somebody who is wearing, sandals or barefoot or something like that, great. Break the metatarsals, neat if you're on the outside, but that's not the scenario we're being presented with. It's a surprise attack. This young woman is being pushed up against the wall. Oh no. And yeah, and just being lambasted with attacks. One, you probably won't have the presence of the mind for a foot stomp, and two, you won't have the space. The second thing they say is don't push. Now, first of all, he's in a really tight clinch, and if I'm trying to bench press Jordan away, hold on really tight, I don't have the strength to do that, first of all, and I don't have the space to make a frame. Frames are good, but I need some space to get there if I want a long frame like this. Okay, instead, what they teach is pretty good, but we can still improve on it, making a frame by making a crossface here. They do it on the neck, which is okay, and then you can start making a frame to make some space, and then she pokes him in the eye or something. I've got some words to say about that too, but I'll show you one little tip here. All right. Instead of the neck, because a lot of guys will just take that and they'll push in, especially if you're smaller. But instead of the neck, if I can get on the chin, this is much, much stronger. It's a much stronger frame to break a clinch. Pretty much any clinch. Maybe he's got double collar ties, right? And I frame here and I push and I posture up. This is another important thing, a nuance we don't get from a little video like that. At the same time as I frame, I'm going to push my head up and look up. I'm going to posture up. This creates force from both directions, because if I'm just pushing and he's pulling and he's stronger, this happens. I actually pull my own head down. But if I push my head up, right, I don't know, every time we touch the microphone it shorts out, but let's go from an over-under clinch. So if I'm pushing here and he's pulling, essentially that doesn't do much. If I look up and I push, yeah, now I've got more than double the strength. It's like my deadlift power added to the pressing power. Okay? The eye gouge thing, if it's a matter of life and death and that's what you have and you're right here, sure, poke them in the eye, whatever. But they make it seem a whole lot easier than it is. Here, let's get a close-up here. So let's talk about eye gouges for a minute. Let's say I'm attacking Jordan, I'm throttling him, and he starts poking my eyes, and I do something very simple. Close my eyes really tight and get my squints on, which is a very common reaction to pressure on the eyes. And he starts pushing on the eyes. Go ahead and push. Gouge out my eye. Yeah, we're going to do whatever we can to protect the eyes. It's a very common reflex. If I bring my fingers close to Jordan's eyes, what does he do? He instinctively closes his eyes, It's a built-in self-defense mechanism. Something comes close to your eyes where you try to make somebody flinch and they blink to protect the eyes. It's just normal, right? So if he brings his hands close to my eyes, again, my first reaction is close them and then get that thing away from the eyes. Now this might give you a little bit of space, right? Because maybe he's really tight on you, he's digging this in, and you poke the eye, then he brings his hand up here to get that off, which is a more probable reaction. That can give you the space for a more intelligent escape. At the same time, it can also get a negative reaction. He starts poking me in the eye. I'm like, seriously? Let me poke you in the eye, right? So, yeah, generally speaking, people have this meet force with equal and opposite force type of reaction, right? I punch you, you punch me, I push you, you push me, you poke me in the eye. I'm like, really? I'm going to poke you back in the eye. So, pick your battles carefully. That's all I'm saying. This next scenario has a few pros and a few cons. So let's go over them. In the video, the girl is attacked from behind. I think she got grabbed over the arms, right? And she pushed herself back up against the wall. And this is good so far because I've created a third leg, a frame right there. Now they say don't try to kick the shins or scrape the shins. And this is a very common thing that's taught in self-defense videos. Someone grabs you from behind, just scrape their shins and they'll just magically let go and fall down on the floor and quiver and yay, I'm free. That presumes that people are a lot wimpier than they really are, especially people who are high on adrenaline. I have been kicked in the shins so many times, it's not a big deal to me. That has a lot to do with the fact that I've been doing Muay Thai, MMA, kicking stuff constantly day in and day out for many years, so I just don't really feel pain in my shins. I can bang my shins on a coffee table, no big problem, right? But right here, if I start scraping Jordan's shins with my feet, it's going to be annoying and that's going to make him angry. If I do this, okay, I brought myself up on one leg, first of all. This is probably the bigger issue than the pain compliance. If he's got me from behind, he's not standing still. He is trying to control me. If I push him up against the wall, he's trying to get out. Here, Jordan, do what you can to escape, okay? Yeah, he's moving me with violent intentions, with dynamic motion. So if I lift a leg up off the ground, I've made my base so much weaker. So I absolutely agree. Don't try to shin rake the guy if you're being throttled from behind. The second thing is don't headbutt. They'll often teach in these self-defense videos, just whip your head back, boom, boom, and that'll just knock him out. They did it in Bloodsport after all, didn't they? Here's the problem with that. Two problems. One, I'm trying to hit the hard part of his head with the soft part of mine, so if I do make contact, this can hurt me, potentially worse than him. Two, what if he just hugs me tight and gets his head close to me? I don't have the space to headbutt at all. And while I'm thinking about, let's headbutt him, knock him out like Jean-Claude Van Damme did in that one movie, he's throttling me and throwing me around. So I like what this video teaches. Instead of trying to do some one hit, one kill shin strike, try to improve your position, okay? But then we run into another problem. They teach this, step behind, and then grab the testicles and squeeze them, and they give a graphic demonstration simulation with an egg and a plastic bag, right? I don't know why so many self-defense videos teach step behind the guy. Here, Jordan, grab me from behind, start throttling me, and I step behind, and I've just compromised my own balance. Let me step behind you for a minute. Go ahead and grab me. And I do step behind successfully. Look where my center of gravity is. It's under my head. If Jordan pushes even slightly forward, I'm going right over his leg, then I just step behind, and I'm going to face plant. It's a terrible idea. Now, if I am going for groin destruction, I don't need to step behind his leg to grab it. Man, one of the first Taekwondo classes I took like decades ago, the instructor said, all right, we're going to teach you a self-defense technique. Someone grabs you from behind. Hammer fist to the groin as many times as you can. And, you know, it's not the most sophisticated self-defense, but I would say it's going to be significantly higher percentage than trying to step behind a guy who's manhandling you and then grabbing that. So improve your position if your position is compromised. Don't bother stepping behind the guy. It's just too much effort for too little reward with too much risk. And again, I've compromised my center of gravity. This is just dumb. Don't do it. One more time. I'll do the demonstration of why. Jordan, step behind me. Right. It takes like zero effort. It's almost like there are so many judo throws where I want to be in that position, right? Where I want like a uchimata right there, haregoshi right here, etc. Where I want him behind me like that. So he's essentially giving me this perfect setup for a nice hip throw. He steps behind me. Cool. Huh. Sorry, I got caught on the ropes right there.
I did that on purpose, Bimmy, because on the streets there are no ropes or rings or octagons or snake pits or donkey pits.
So let's move forward a little bit. So he steps behind me, and I don't even have to do any fancy judo now. It's just a little bit of forward pressure, down he goes. And if I'm already throttling him, I've got him from behind, I'm like, and he steps behind me. That's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. Let's talk about rear naked choke. So Jordan puts a choke on me from behind, and what they teach in the video, don't just grab the clothing and pull and do all this frantic stuff, because it won't do anything, and you'll get choked out. Okay, that's good advice. Now they say, reach behind, grab this hand behind the head, and if you can get it, great, that is good advice, then you can peel that off. Then what they teach is grab this with two hands, rip it off, and then get behind the guy and attack from the behind. They don't tell you how to attack from behind, just attack from behind. Let's say I've never been in a fight before and I just watched this video, I'm successful. Do it, okay, what now? I don't know. Maybe get out there and train so you know what to do. But let's talk a little bit about this choke, right? Now there are ways where you can peel this off, but here, get really, really tight and squeeze, put the choke on. Yeah, again. Yeah, one more time. Yeah, it doesn't take much. If you are already stuck in that choke, you can peel this off. I have used this sometimes, but I'm going to show you something else, right? You can put on a rear naked choke in a very simple way where the guy cannot peel the hand off the back of the head. I mean, one, I don't even need that hand behind the head to choke him, but two, here, Jordan, peel the hand off. Okay, so that's just a little trick there. So it's just a very simple way to make your rear naked chokes a very high percentage. So I'm going to grab his lat back here, all the way around, elbow in the neck. The most common response, I don't even get the second hand in yet. He's going to grab this. While he's focused on the first hand, I'm going to bring this across, and then I'm going to grab this. And by that time, it's just too late to even think about peeling the hand off the back. Here, Jordan, do that to me. So go around like a single arm, rear naked choke, and while I'm focusing on this, now come behind the head. And by the time I'm thinking about that, and some of you are probably thinking, why are you teaching the attackers of the streets to be more effective? No. If you want to learn how to counter an attack, learn how to do the attack. Learn what makes it work so you know how to shut it down more effectively. Or more importantly, don't get stuck in it in the first place. Right here, this is a big red flag. How did he get behind me? Maybe he snuck on me, okay. And if that's the case, this is all right. But let's talk about one more thing. Everybody always says, just throw him over your shoulder. Let's address that right now. Throwing someone over your shoulder from a standing rear naked choke. People always say, just throw him if he gets behind you, okay? Now, if he is standing there, he's got this, right? I can bow forward. All right. Without resistance, that works perfectly fine. Here, Jordan, you do that to me. Right, I've got him. You bow. Now, let's try it against realistic resistance. He goes, he starts pulling me. It's all right. I don't I don't have my hips under me. I do not have my hips under me in order to do a hip throw. Surprise, you need your hips under you to do a hip throw. If you're being dragged back like this or shoved down into the ground, you simply can't do it. Here, Jordan, you try to throw me. I'm changing a center of gravity. If you don't know what center of gravity is, it's just where the gravity weighs down on the floor. Right now I'm standing straight up, so the center of gravity is going to be right between my feet. Okay? If I lean forward, now my center of gravity is right under my head. Right? If Jordan's standing this way and I'm holding him here, the center of gravity is right under his hips, so he could throw me from here. This is okay, right? But if I grab him from behind and pull him back, now his center of gravity is right about here under my foot. He cannot throw me from there. So instead of saying, just hip throw him, I would just hip throw him in that situation. How about just get out there and train? So this next technique, if you're being attacked by this surprise, they say cover up rather than just put your hands down and turn away and get hit in the face. Okay, that's good advice, but if you're attacked by surprise, you don't really have the presence of mind to choose, do you? But that being said, covering up is fine, right? And then they teach get the arm drag, okay? To expose the back. Now Jordan's going to grab my hair and pull. Come on, pull my hair as hard as you can. Break my posture from behind by pulling my hair. Come on, Jordan, you're just not doing it hard enough. Do the technique right, man. Everybody says that we don't try hard enough in these self-defense videos. Come on, Jordan. Pull that hair, man. Pull it. Pull it. Go ahead, Jordan. Grab my hair. Pull. Come on. Pull harder. And now he's going to... He should be slamming my head in the... For this next technique, in the ideal world, instead of just sitting there eating punches, Jordan's going to get his guard up, he's going to get the inside grip, maybe a bicep tie-up right here, and he's going to duck under. He's going to get behind me, he's going to grab my non-existent hair, and then slam my head, boom, repeatedly, boom, into this turnbuckle here, or the wall, or whatever surface you have. My question is, how feasible is that? We see this in movies all the time, we see it in pro wrestling all the time, but in my experience, when you try to control somebody's head by pushing it, they instinctively tend to posture up. If I try to push him forward, he's going to push against it. Necks are pretty strong because they're connected to our postural muscles, the same muscles we use for deadlifting, you know, the biggest lift humans can do, like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So Jordan, let's legitimately try this. So he covers up, inside, let's assume he gets the duck under, now slam my head. Slam my head. Come on. As hard as you can. I'm just kind of casually framing against the ropes right here. And just like normal posture, it's not like, oh, I'm flexing and trying to deadlift 300 pounds. Jordan, you want to give this a try? Okay. So we'll reverse the situation. He's attacking. I cover up. I get the bicep tie-ups. I'm going to duck under, get behind him, grab him, and slam his head into the wall, and he's just not letting me do that. And a lot of you are like probably furiously typing, Ramsey, you don't even try when you do these things. No. How much force was I exerting on the back of your head, Jordan?
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot. Jordan's a reasonably strong adult human male, right? And so if I am pushing him down here and he's giving a modicum of resistance against my arm with his whole body, I mean, think about it. Can you deadlift more weight, or can you do this exercise with your hand with more weight? Even pushing with your leg behind it, which is a stronger lift. How about the deadlift? Which is exactly what's happening. I'm trying to fight Jordan's deadlift strength with the strength of my arm alone. And you might be thinking, what if you take him by surprise? What surprise? He started the fight. I'm the one who got taken by surprise. He's the one who started throwing punches. I'm like, holy crap, I'm in a fight I was not expecting. Okay, I've got the presence of mind to do this, get behind him. Now he knows I'm behind him. He's not surprised, right? He was prepared for the fight before it started. I wasn't. Rant over. Let's say Jordan's behind me here. And yeah, I think I can do this. Yeah, that's fine. Into the push-pull sweep. There we go. That's fine. So here, go ahead and go down. So maybe I've got his hoodie from behind. Let's just say this is his hair. Go ahead, spin around, do the push-pull sweep. Yeah, totally legit technique. So if you're in that situation, I don't know how often you'll be in that situation. It can work, but I've got to ask some questions like, how did we get there? I'm on the floor, on my back, the guy's behind me. Some shenanigans took place before we got there. I probably got beaten up and thrown down and apparently dragged by the hair and probably hurt pretty badly. So how good is your jiu-jitsu going to be in those situations? I don't know. I don't know. Highly variable. That's all I'm saying. This next technique is if somebody grabs your sweatshirt, what Jordan is going to do, instead of just grabbing my wrists and pulling frantically, because that's probably not going to work unless you're a lot stronger than the other guy, is chop downward with the elbows. Come on, Jordan, with power. Oh no, he's got the weapon. Finally, a self-defense technique that works. Pull out your secret weapon and attack. But I know the people of the internet are probably going to say Jordan wasn't going hard enough. So just really slam down with your elbow right there and see if that can break it. Like harder, 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 harder. Yeah, I think the only thing that's really taking damage is Jordan's sweatshirt. We don't want to tear up his shirt or stretch it out too much, but yeah, he's going pretty hard, and I don't have the strongest grips, to be honest. You know, I've got pretty average grips for a guy who works out, and this it's not a death grip. This is just a pretty standard grip. So one more time, he's slamming down hard, harder, faster. Literally does nothing. I don't know why this is taught so much in Krav Maga. What was it that Fred Mastro taught? Yeah, he was teaching this technique. Someone grabs your throat in the two-handed rape choke, and he does like two hands to the outside and pulls down, and the guy just falls on the floor, crumples like a baby. And I mean, this honestly, it's annoying at best. Here, Jordan, you do that to me. Let me change the position of the mic right here. So he's got the two-handed rape choke, and Fred Mastro was like, just do this. Maybe on the other side. And the guy would just drop, and I don't know, maybe Fred Mastro is a master of targeting a secret pressure point nerve in there that we're just not aware of. Remember, we tested this out for like 15 minutes straight. Unfortunately lost the footage, but let's just try it again. Inside. Trying to get like the pointy knuckles against soft tissue anywhere, and it's even against mild resistance, like literally nothing. So I don't know what these folks are smoking, to be honest. Surprise weapon attack. There are several wrist grab escapes in this video, and I just want to point out a few things. Now, turning against the thumb can absolutely work, but let's get a super close-up. Come on over here, Jordan. Super close-up of the wrists. There's a big difference between holding right here, like, you know, where the crease of the wrist is, and holding slightly higher. If Jordan is grabbing the forearm, you know, rotating out is going to be really easy against the thumb. If he's a strong guy, especially if he's stronger than me, and he's grabbing right at the wrist joint, now it's going to be significantly harder. It can still potentially work if I've got like momentum or two hands or something like that. But I have to point out there's a huge difference in leverage between here and just an inch or two above. Forearm grips are super easy to break. Wrist grips on the actual joint, much harder. I'm going to attempt a rear naked choke. Jordan is going to attempt to kick his legs up and pull himself down and get a reversal. So let's see how this works. I'll apply the choke the same way the guy did in the video, not sunk in correctly, not behind the head, but over here. And I'll hold on securely. Jordan, give it a try. Okay. All right. First observation, it It does have the momentum to bring me down from the floor. I'm not holding on super tight right here. Like I wasn't like squeezing and making a concerted effort to try to disprove this technique. So I genuinely want to know if this will work. It does level change. It does bring me down to the floor. It didn't break the grip like it did in the video, but let's try it again. Rep it out a few times.
You can try like really choke.
Try to really choke you? Okay. Yeah, now, when I'm really applying the choke, yeah. What did you think, Jordan?
Even when I'm on the ground, he's still choking me. It's not like he let it go. So, yeah, you just have to, I mean, I feel like the first time, you could have bulldog choked me if the rear naked choke, if you lost the grip. But the second one, which is much tighter, and yeah, I feel like I just gave you my back again when we went on the ground.
Yeah, here, let me try it. Kind of the same results. I used the momentum, kicked over. I don't know if all that got on camera, but Jordan ended up choking me out at the end there. It changes the level. It brings us both down to the floor if I use enough momentum, but he's still on my neck and it doesn't break the grip, like at all. So something Jordan was just pointing out, like if someone has you from behind and they're trying to choke you, they want a level change. They want to bring you down because you're easier to control here. Go ahead, Jordan. Yeah. Like that's where he wants to be. There are 1,000,001 how to escape a standing rear naked choke technique videos on the internet, and they're dumb. I'm just going to put that out there. They're dumb because no one really does that. Or maybe a more untrained person would just try to drag you back like this or something. And if they're dragging you, you don't have that leverage to move forward like that. Anyway, next. A body lock from behind. He's got double underhooks, and she gets the Kimura lock, puts downward pressure, rotates, and escapes. And this is a totally legitimate technique, except for one thing. Out here in the middle, in the open mat, here, Jordan, fight back, move me around, throw me on the floor. It's going to be hard to make that work because he's just got so much more leverage and control right here. You go ahead and try to escape. You know, it's easy to move him around from there, but here's how to make this work. Some of you might be saying, well, I saw this in the UFC, but here's how you saw it in the UFC. Here, follow us here. They back into the cage first. Now his back's up against the wall. Now I've got this third leg behind me, and now I actually have stability. So out on the open mat, this is going to be a really hard move to make work. Up against a wall with his back against the wall, yeah, this can be feasible. For this next technique, we have a knife-wielding attacker. He's coming at me overhead, Norman Bates style. And instead of standing there just getting stabbed, we have an alternative. The first technique, hands up, swat the knife out of the way. He now comes in lunging forward. I move back. I move over here. He comes in again, swat the knife out of the way. And now I move over here. And that's where the video ends. Consequently, that's probably where your life ends too. Let's try it out with... Yeah, that's exactly what will happen. Anyway, let's try this out live. Full resistance, full power, full speed. Ready? Let's go. Parrying the knife is just getting me stabbed. What's happening? Not the wacky waving octopus attack. Thank you for watching. Now get out there and train.